Jerry, it's Jim. I'm going to try to show you how I'm measuring these bristle parts with the manual system that I spoke to you about. So here is the manual stage. It's similar. It's a RAM system without motors. So you have a system with motors. This is just a RAM system without motors. The software is exactly the same here. So I have a couple of your bristles up on the stage here. And I'm going to just start a couple measurements. I'm also collecting data, so the data is going directly to an SPC program right here, real time as I measure. So you'll see these things changes, and you can see these are green here, and there's one red here. That's just because I threw in some bogus tolerances, so you can put them, you can put it wherever you want. But so you know, I'm making measurements at 5 different locations: 0.02, 0.05, 0.1, 0.2, and 0.5 millimeters. So it's 0.2, 0.5, 0.1, 0.2, 0.5 millimeters. So the hardest one is the very first one, the 20 microns. It's sometimes your parts are so damn thin there that I can't distinguish between one side and the other. But here we go. So I'll tell you when that happens. So this is the first part of my program, and I start out, what I do is I start out at low magnification because it's a lot easier to find your part at low mag. So I just take this crosshair and tell you about approximately where the tip is, and then it zooms up to high mag. And if you can look at my stage here, I'm moving the stage myself here. So I'm going to I'm going to show it where the very tip of this bristle is, and then I'm going to move the stage to that spot. You can sort of see it happens fast, but when I move this crosshair to that red target, it automatically takes the points for me. So it took the lower point, took the upper point, I move it over to here. It's just sort of like follow the bouncing ball as I go from one spot to the other. And then the last spot is, I guess, 0.5 millimeters right. So that's the program. I'm going to run it again. That means I have to find another part on your stage. I have a couple lined up here at low mag. So here's another one. I'm going to go to the end of it. I'm going to try to make it a little bit straight here so that I can follow it somewhat in a straight line. So I find the tip of it here. I hit enter point. Again, it zooms up. Now you can see over here it changed numbers. It changed colors based on my tolerance. So here's the very tip of this. And I'm just going to I'm going to show it. That's going to be my 0 point where that tip is. So I bring this over to here. I hit enter, and now from that point I'll measure these. So there, it was a good hit at 0.20. There are 2 good hits. Now again I'm moving the stage here, so that's what's taking all the time. And then the last point down at the end, which is whatever I told you it was, 0.5 millimeters. There's my number. You'll see the numbers change over here. The red and the green, again, are based on bogus tolerances I put in. But I want to show you another one of your parts that it's just almost impossible to measure, distinguish, because it's so. This looks like one of them here. I'm gonna straighten this out. Okay, so it's straightened out on my stage. I'm going to show it approximately where the tip is. I hit enter. Now on this one, you can see how very, very tiny this tip is in width here. This is where my software has a hard time distinguishing between one side and the other of this particular tip. So I'm going to show it, the very end again, and it'll be hard for you to see, but I'll let you know if it has bad hits. So it had a bad hit there because this is such a tiny section. It's so that your parts are inconsistent in that it's not always this thin on a lot of your parts. But on, you know, as soon as I get away from that 20, as soon as I get to the 0.05 millimeter, I don't seem to have any problem distinguishing between one side and the other. The program works pretty good from that. So the only unstable side of this is the at the 20 micron spot. But other than that, the numbers are pretty good. So again, it's collecting the data. That's it. You can call me and talk to me about it later. See ya.